Welcome, welcome, welcome. I give this talk every week for many years now, Tuesday night talk. And I'm still Dr. Arnold Nerenberg. I'm licensed to practice clinical psychology since 1974 in the state of California. And the way I like to say it is I was licensed to walk upon this earth. Yeah, I was licensed. I'm licensed to be here. I was given my birth certificate in 1941. So you look at an 83-year-old guy in a few more weeks, another five weeks, I'll be 83. And I'm so happy to be here with you. I'm happy to be alive, happy to know you, happy to have met you and be a part of your lives. And I'm grateful to be here with you now and to share with you the insights and inspirations of a lifetime. My real intention in presenting this is to uplift you for the rest of your lives, and for you to uplift your family as well. That's truly what I want from tonight. The title of today's presentation is, Am I going to be okay? Am I going to be okay? I know my people and I know what's going on in society. I know how you worry. You mamas, I know you're always worried about your babies, your children. Worried they're going to be okay. Just check to make sure the baby's breathing. Wake up and check. Afraid the baby's going to catch an illness. Or the baby coughs in the alarm. And then many mothers always worry about their children all their life. It's always her baby. Doesn't matter whether he's 50 years old. That's her baby. She worries. Man's at work. Work's getting lean. People getting laid off. People start worrying. Am I going to lose my job? How am I going to pay my mortgage and feed my children, put food on the table, pay for the rent? How am I going to do that? They worry. Am I going to be okay? For the mothers, my baby going to be okay? Somebody in your family is very ill. Maybe you're very ill. God forbid. Am I going to be okay? Am I going to make it? I know so many people who have different forms of cancer: prostate cancer, breast cancer, rectal cancer, stomach cancer, pancreatic cancer. And you're meeting people. And they're asking themselves, am I going to be okay? Could be a legal matter, a lawsuit going on. Maybe somebody's suing you. Am I going to be okay? You're having a relationship. Your significant other wants to leave you. You say, am I going to be okay? I love this person. I'm so lost without him. I'm so lost without her. Am I going to be okay? It's universal. Throughout the world, throughout time, people would say, am I going to be okay? Are you going to be okay? Are we going to be okay? So this evening, we're going to look at some answers, some question marks, some approaches to that universal question, am I going to be okay? Now, certainly it's good to understand what the problem is. Say it's a medical problem, a person's getting pain in their hearts, they're afraid they're going to have a heart attack. I can be okay. Well, you find out, well, they do an angiogram and they find, well, you have 90% blocked artery. Cardiologist puts a stent in there to open it up. Come out, you're okay. I'm okay. Thank God I'm okay. Why? How are you okay? You found out what was going on. You got information. And you made the appropriate step. You solved it and you're okay. So certainly knowledge. You knew to go to a cardiologist. And then after that, you don't want to have restenosis of the stent where it closes back up. So you maybe take a statin to keep your LDL, your cholesterol down. You stop eating too many saturated fats. Start eating garlic to help clean the arteries up. You start taking arterial protect with gotocolin and pycnogenols to help ensure that the plaque doesn't rupture and cause a heart attack. You get that knowledge. So as you get knowledge, you help ensure that you're going to be okay. Knowledge is a good approach, because one of the hardest parts about worrying about saying, am I going to be okay? One of the toughest parts, I'll tell you right now, it's the not knowing. It's the uncertainty. Not understanding what the problem is in the relationship. Not understanding why the person's suing you. Not understanding why you're getting that pain in your chest. Not knowing. That exacerbates it. It's the uncertainty. Knowledge helps. Investigating helps. You put together a medical team, or you consult a psychologist, or you consult a financial advisor, or depending on the problem, or you get a good attorney to help you deal with your legal issue. Knowledge is very important. And then, of course, you want to prevent even coming into the situation, prevention. So to prevent a lot of medical issues, you want to be in at least 5,000 units a day of vitamin D. Even during COVID. In one study, everybody who died had it under 50 in their blood work in terms of the vitamin D level. Optimal was 50 to 80. People who had a blood level of vitamin D 50 to 80, none of them died in that study from COVID. So you know that. So, well, you want to prevent from being in situations where you're going to worry about yourself or your loved ones. You take vitamin D, at least 5,000 units a day. And certainly your health. If you have your health, you don't have to worry as much about your future. You say, well, when I get older, I put money in I have a 401k, but the stock market's going up and down. What am I going to do when I'm 60, 70, 75? Are we going to be okay when we get old? Because I don't look at 75 as old personally, but many people do. Well, just so you know, the best retirement plan is not money in the bank, although that's good. The best retirement plan is your health. Your health, that's the best retirement plan. Because if you have your health, whatever happens, you'll be able to handle it. If you don't have your health and you have $10 million in the bank, but you don't have your health, what do you have? It's not a retirement plan that doesn't include taking good care of yourself is not a good retirement plan. You want not just a financial advisor for your retirement or for when you get older. You want a health advisor. Study, read, go to classes, whatever it takes. Your health for you and your loved ones. That way you don't have to worry as much about getting old. Health number one, best retirement plan, and then with your health, then money in the bank. Now, there are 4 commandments of honor. I wish you well. I take full responsibility for co-creating my reality, my problems. I'm grateful for the power I gain from hardship. Then one of 2 depends whether a person believes in God or not. If you believe in God as I do, God, your wish is my only wish. If you don't believe in God, say, I seek always to serve my highest values. So, if you say, am I going to be okay? God willing, I'm going to be okay. God willing, I'm going to be okay. Is my child going to be okay? God willing, my child will be okay. God willing, we'll be okay. Or, you don't want to address God, we will be okay. Yeah, we're going to be okay. Or, I hope we're going to be okay. I hope we're going to be okay. I hope I'm going to be okay. Now, one of the commandments of honor being, I'm grateful for the power I gain from hardship. Well, a derivative of that is, I hope to come back much stronger than ever. I hope to come back much stronger than ever. So you're worrying about your legal situation, your employment situation, dealing with your supervisor, your manager at work, your emotional situation in your marriage or with your girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever it is, you're in the middle of it. You go, I hope to come back much stronger than ever. I hope to come back much stronger than ever. That adds a dignity. That adds a dignity to your worry. Worrying can rob you of your life, rob you of your dignity, rob you of your freedom, because you're a prisoner of that worry. Am I going to be okay? God willing, I'm going to be okay. I hope to come back much stronger than ever. Now, these are approaches to deal with, am I going to be okay? Now, here's a big one. When I was 65, a young man of 65, and that's 18 years ago, there was a lump on my prostate. Went for a biopsy, went to see the urologist, and he said, well, Dr. Nerenberg tested positive. You have prostate cancer. It's not a small amount either. It's intermediate, and it's somewhat aggressive. Well, I was very prepared with using the commandments of honor and whatnot, so I stepped in with that. But my face went numb. I'm like, shh. About 10 seconds, maybe 15 seconds. And they said, Doc, that's great. I mean, he was shocked. What did you say? I said, that's great. I said, this prostate cancer is going to make me stronger, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. I'm positive he never forgot that day. I'm positive. I never forgot. I never will forget it. Well, I stepped outside. I saw the clouds and heard the birds and saw the people in a way I never did. It was just exquisitely beautiful. I already was stronger from it. And I took the title strongest drug-free man in the world for my age and my weight. Now, keep also in mind, on my way on, I used to have a Goldwing motorcycle. I was going to Cerritos to find out from my urologist. Got on a motorcycle. But I had already been repeating this to myself as a believer in God. God, if you want me to die and come to the other side now, I want to die now. Take me now. Let it be cancer. I'm eager to go. I mean, I really got behind that. It might sound bizarre, but I had to face it. It's either that or you're very worried, very worried. I want to go. But God, if you want me to serve you here, then let me stay here and I'll serve you here. But if you have no preference, God, I prefer to stay and serve you. So when you face the worst thing, you're worried about something, if you're able to face the worst possible outcome and embrace that in some way, I gave an example of how I did this, because everything I tell you, I walk the walk. I don't just talk the talk. Do I slip once in a while? Very rarely, but yes, I do. And I repent and come back up. Or if I slip, my wife will be the first to tell me. So one approach to am I going to be okay is to face the worst option. So people were shocked how calm I was. Why are you so calm? You have prostate cancer. One of my friends wept. I was very calm. I kept reassuring him. I said, it's okay. I'm good with whatever happens. It's time for me to go, or I want to go. I prefer to stay if that's God's will. But in any case, it was going to be what I was going to be. But as a warrior, you seek to gain power from hardship. It made me stronger. In every way, like I said, I walked out. Everything was so beautiful. I was looking out the world like I never saw it before. Like I was looking at it for the first time. In fact, people were walking by, and I felt love for them. I felt they're all my family. I knew, I didn't fool myself. I knew they looked at me as a stranger. It was funny to me. I know you're all looking at me as a stranger. To me, you're family. I could have gone up to any one of them and just had a good conversation. And I knew that. Another approach that people use is this too shall pass. Am I going to be okay? I'm going through this and that, and this too shall pass. It's normal to worry. It's normal to say, am I going to be okay? But to give it dignity, you want to be able to say, this too shall pass, or God willing, I'll be fine. I hope to come back much stronger than ever, or whatever God's will, I wish, whichever the outcome is. That gives dignity and meaning to your suffering. And then when you suffer in an honorable way, as I've just told you, then you have a legacy of honor. The way I dealt with that in other situations that I've talked about before, it's my legacy to you. This is how you can deal with things. And it will give dignity and nobility and honor to you. Enshrined within your deepest struggle, enshrined within your deepest struggle is the seed of your nobility, your dignity, and your honor. Enshrined within your deepest struggle is the seed of your nobility, your dignity, and your honor. You go into that, you don't run away from it, you face it, you go into it, pull out the jewel. That's the journey, and it's doable. It is doable, I can tell you right now. Now, when we go, am I going to be okay? A lot of times there's some standards say, well, I'm not okay because I'm getting this pain over here. I'm not okay because I don't know how I'm going to pay my bill. I'm not okay because my significant other is leaving me. So it's always saying, I'd be okay if my significant other didn't leave. I'd be okay if I had the money. So it's always saying, if I didn't go through this, I'd be okay. I remember having this guy, he's called a roughneck because he used to work in the oil fields. Big, tatted, powerful looking macho guy. Came in, and I could see from his face he wanted to cry. He used to look sad. And we're talking. He tells me, Doc, my wife left me. Oh, that's rough. I said, yeah, she didn't just leave me. She left me for another man. Oh, I said, well, that's even rougher. And she took my kids with her. I don't even know where they are. I haven't seen my kids in months. I don't even know where they are. And I got so stressed from it that I couldn't work, couldn't make the payments on my house, couldn't make my mortgage payments. I lost my house. I lost my wife, my kids, my house. I've lost everything. But he was very worried about his future. What do I have? I've got nothing. It was like, what kind of future is he going to have? Basically saying, how can he be okay? He was sure he was not going to be okay because he was suffering badly. I said, look, as a human being, as a man, I understand and I feel a lot of compassion for you. Well, what if I told you there's a best true story you can tell yourself about this problem that will add dignity, nobility, and honor to your life? And he said, wow, Doc, tell me. That's something I'd love to hear. I said, okay, here it is. I've lost everything, but I've gained myself. I've lost everything, but I've gained myself. And when I said that to him, honestly, his face just lit up. Went from so sad to, I've gained myself. Yeah. He looked right at the end of the session. He literally floated out of my office. From the secretary, he said, I've lost everything, but I've gained myself. For that time, at least, he wasn't worried. He gained himself. Still didn't have his wife, his kids, or his house. Still had a very uncertain future that didn't look really good, but he gained himself. So the other way of dealing with it, am I going to be okay, is what's the best true story I can tell myself about this situation? What's the best true story I can tell myself about this situation? A couple of key words. What's the best true story? So it's a true story. What's the best true story I can tell myself about this situation? I had a woman come in crying, lovely lady, just lovely. She came in and said, Doc, my son's in the hospital, he's in stable condition. They shot him 9 times. Some of my gang members shot him 9 times. I said, oh my God. I said, I have 7 children. That's That's a parent's nightmare. I said, I feel so much compassion for you. But what if I told you is the best true story you can tell yourself that would give dignity, nobility, and honor to you and to your son? She looked at me with an incredulous look. Really? What is that, Doc? I said, you ready for the healing medicine? She said, yes, I am. They couldn't kill my son. They shot him 9 times. God has a purpose for his life. They couldn't kill my son. They shot him 9 times. God has a purpose for his life. She looked at me, the same thing. She started lighting up. She says, yeah, God does have a purpose for his life. Ah. At the end of the session, walked out floating. Her son was still shot 9 times in the hospital, but she wasn't worried at that point. Yeah, God does have a purpose for his life. I saw her a week later. I said, you tell your son what I said? She said, yeah, he smiled. He made him happy. Much later, maybe a year later, when she came back in the therapy, she went back, released, and came back in. She told me how well her son is doing. Turned to God more, led to really good things in his life, became a better human being from it as well. So the best true story just kept growing. Well, this is what I want to tell you with regards to, am I going to be okay? Is she going to be okay? Is he going to be okay? Are we going to be okay? These are the approaches I have found in my 83 years of life and over 50 years of being in the profession. So I'm going to open it up to our beautiful, wonderful audience that are here. Very deep, wonderful people. The best people I've ever known. And see what kind of question and comment. And keep in mind, I've had many of my patients tell me, Doc, I benefit from what you say, but I benefit as much or even more from hearing the other people because I feel less alone when I hear the others speak. So when you speak up or ask a question or make a comment, you're helping everybody who's here and everybody who's going to listen to this video. Okay, who would like to make a comment or ask a question? Please feel free to do so.
Hi, Doctor. It's Marta.
Marta! Pleasure to see you, Marta.
Hi. So I think when we're going through problems, issues, it's really hard to step back and just think about, the good that will come out of it, and just step back and try to just be okay with it and accept it.
Well, let me interrupt you.
It will pass.
Let me say something to you, Marta, right before you go on, because you already said something very important. It's very hard to step back and do these things that I'm talking about. It is if you don't keep repeating these things throughout the day. If you're repeating to yourself all day long, the commandments of honor, some of these laws of honor, 3 times a day, these principles that I've given you, 3 times a day, it's just natural, it'll just come right out. If you don't repeat 3 times a day, there's no way you'll think of it. You'll just get caught up in it, get lost in it, drown in it. Drown in your worry. But if 3 times a day you're saying, I hope to come back much stronger than ever, God, your wish is my only wish. God willing, I'll be okay. You start repeating these commandments of honor, these laws, and some of these laws of honor. It won't be hard to do because the repetition is preparation for application to achieve internalization and stabilization. It's like a little jingle there. It will prepare you. I'll tell you right now, as soon as you stop repeating the commandments of honor and some of these laws of honor, as soon as you stop, you're going to lose all the benefit because you won't remember it in the situation. It's just gone. That's why you have to do this all your life. I tell that to all my people. You got to do this all your life. Mm-hmm. And then it's not hard to do. We also have the bridge. You say the commandments of honor 3 times a day, and then the bridge was what's the most honorable thing to think, say, and do. People who do it 3 times a day say it really helps them step back and not just react in situations. What's the most honorable thing to think, say, and do? I call it the bridge. It's a bridge between honor and reality. You're quite right, and Marta, that's a perfect point to make. Thank you so much. You've got to repeat these principles 3 times a day. It's just reminding yourself of the truths you know. One of the greatest tragedies in life is to know the truth that will set you free and forget the truth. And we all forget, every one of us. Only one way not to forget. We got to keep reminding ourselves all day long. 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and night. And you won't forget. Once in a while, you might slip, but you'll come back fast. That's a promise. I apply it myself, and I see it in my people. And I think you're a good example, but I believe you're really applying these teachings.
Yeah, I just think you slip back a little bit too.
What's that? Say that again.
You slip back a little bit.
Oh, yeah, well, there's really 2 parts to ourselves. The lower nature, which is hardwired into our genetics, and our higher nature, the divine nature, the honor nature. And that lower nature, the reactive nature, is very powerful. Very powerful. But it is possible to walk this walk and keep feeding that honor nature, the divine nature, the higher nature. It's absolutely doable. But I'm not going to minimize the pull of that lower nature, the animal nature. I'm not going to minimize it. It's powerful. But the
Dr.
divine nature is stronger. Yes, please. Thank you, Marta.
I just wanted to add, because a lot of the things that you're saying reminded me of
Who's speaking?
things that... Can you hear me?
Yes, who's speaking?
Oh, it's Nancy.
Oh, Nancy. Yes, Nancy. Thank you. Yes, please.
So a lot of the things that you're speaking about reminded me of things that I've gone through 20 years ago when I went through a really deep depression. And that was something that I would tell myself, it's okay. Because to me, it was weird because I did study psychology. And so I knew like the mental and the behavioral aspect of it. So I kept thinking it's just a set of, I need to get out of this set of way of thinking. I need to like get myself thinking in a positive way. And that's what I would tell myself. It's like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
And did that help? Did that help, Nancy?
It really did. It helped. And just whenever negative thoughts would come, I would go on YouTube and I would watch something funny. Like a lot of the Japanese shows are hilarious. And even though I wouldn't laugh or crack up, I would still feel like, oh, that's funny. And it would take my mind off of...
So you distracted yourself. That distraction is a great way to go.
Great, and once I start reading the Bible, it went along with that too. And I was thinking, oh my God, it's not only biblical, like it's not only something that I'm studying at the university. If you keep repeating this positive behavior, it's also in the Bible, right? It says to protect your thoughts, to protect your mind.
It also says in the Bible, all things work for good for those who love the Lord. So good will come out of all these things. Exactly right. Yes. Yes,
exactly. And now looking back on it, I learned so much going through all of that, and I don't think it's not a good thing to go through. I wouldn't want people to, go through a deep depression, but you do come out stronger. You really do. You grow from it. You learn how to handle things. It's kind of, I don't know, I guess getting over like COVID, it was horrible for some people, but you became strong out of it and your system got stronger. You got
I think the COVID can invigorate you. I think it has an if it doesn't kill you, it's invigorating. Nancy, you're a spiritual giant. I mean, the way you've dealt with things, I know you very well and what you deal with in life, and you're dealing with it magnificently. I know it doesn't always feel that way, but you are, and you're applying the principles, very sound principles. And by the way, my whole system is based on psychology, religion, and personal experience. So all the scriptures, all the teachings that I give are consistent with the scriptures of all religions. There's no religious teachings that this would violate. Not one at all. It's all consistent.
Yeah. So now with this anxiety attacks that I've been getting, I'm just trying to look at the positive aspect of it and saying, okay, God, what do you want me to learn from this? And just I've been absorbing all your teachings and your videos, and so I know that, I don't know if people are, I don't know the kinds that you have of they're dealing with depression, just want to let them know
Most
that
of my
you
people are dealing with depression, anxiety, and panic attacks, and relationship problems, and definitely work problems. Almost all of my people.
Yeah. So I feel like, we can overcome it. It's just a matter of like teaching ourselves, right? We have to learn.
But I want to say something about this, Nancy. I don't want to mislead you. I don't want you to think you can overpower the negative situations in yourself. One massive study at the University of Maryland, it was found that 80% of people's thoughts are negative. 80% are negative. I'm not telling you to overpower your negative thoughts. Just let them be. It's not your fault. You're not responsible for them. You didn't choose them. They're based on your genetics, family upbringing, and societal norms. But you can balance it with constructive, honorable thoughts. You can there's a whole second class of thoughts you can choose. Right now, for example, have this thought 3 times silently in your mind. I wish you well. Have that 3 times. Now, I know you did it naturally, rapidly, and easily, and you can tell a 6-year-old will be able to do it. That proved right there that you can choose thoughts. Only humans can choose their thoughts. No other species can choose thoughts. They have stimulus response and problem solving, emotional aspects, but they can't choose their thoughts. That's the power you have. So you can choose a thought. So you're getting a negative thought about somebody, you just want to hit them, tell them off, whatever. You can balance it with I wish you well. Now, the negative thought is typically stronger than that positive thought. But by always balancing it with a constructive thought, that negativity will come back less often with less intensity and duration. And just to make a further example, right now, I'm going to ask all of you to have a pleasant memory. Think of something you ate today that you enjoyed or somebody you saw that you love. Take a moment and have a pleasant memory. Again, I know something about all of you. You did it rapidly, naturally, and easily. 6-year-old can do it. But look what you did. Look at the power. You chose the polarity. It wasn't negative. It was a positive. It was a pleasant memory. And you chose a time dimension. It wasn't the present or the future. It was something from your past. So it was a time dimension at will and a polarity at will. So when we get these negative thoughts, don't try to make it go away. Just balance it with a constructive, honorable thought. And you'll see tremendous benefit from it. Tremendous. That's the good news. I have to always make clear that because I don't want you to think that you're going to ever beat the negativity of life. The world's too negative. You're still going to have it, but you can be balanced. You can enhance your quality of your life 1,000-fold with this method. Nancy, you're a jewel. What can I say? I mean, what you add. Thank you for bringing those points up.
Thank you. And thank you for explaining that too, because that's totally true.
Well, yeah, I have to because, a lot of people think when you're getting into these positive aspects that you can wipe out the negativity. And big mistake, can't be done. So I have to always put that in. And some of those negative thoughts are so severe that all you can do is put some honorable, constructive thoughts there, and while you're drowning in that negativity, but it's better than feeding it, and it will create a light in that darkness. Thank you, Nancy. Well, it's been my pleasure, my privilege to be here with you, to be in your presence, to have the opportunity to share with you the lessons and insights of a lifetime. I'm grateful to present to you, Am I Going to Be Okay?
The sea of destiny is in your deepest struggle. God's will and mine be one, and I wish you well. You are co-creator, respectfully real. There's a way in the valley that turns weakness to steel. We're known through all eternity. From strife we gain power, clothed in grace and love, disciples of honor. All the days of our lives refuse the way of shame. We wish nobody harm, have no one to blame. Your high calling will be done, and pure eyes now glow. In darkness crave the good, like waters from the desert flow. I pledge my love all the days of my life. I pledge my soul to all that is good. I pledge my heart to my brothers and sisters who I join in the light, leave a legacy of honor. We're known through all eternity. From strife we gain power, clothed in grace and love, disciples of honor. All the days of our lives refuse the way of shame. We wish nobody harm, have no one to blame. Your high calling will be done, and pure eyes now glow. In darkness crave the good, like waters from the desert flow.